bottom line is this. The Aurora Town Council did no due diligence in the deal with Niagara College. They made no business case for the culinary school. Instead, they negotiated a horrible deal and they gave away one of our town's most precious assets without considering the implications or the repercussions. It's a truly awful story, and it's time that everyone in Aurora knows about it. So before moving on to the Hallmark Lands issue, let me make a couple more points about turning the Armory into a culinary school. To date, Niagara College has not even prepared a curriculum development program, which they were supposed to do quite a while ago. This means that we do not know how many students will be attending or their hours of operation, which in turn means that it is impossible to evaluate any potential local economic benefits. Councillors who state that the successes of the Waterloo's Laurier University Satellite Campus in Brantford will be repeated here in Aurora either do not know their facts or are purposely misleading the public. Sadly, by giving the precious armory away, Council created a domino effect. Aurora still needs a cultural hub. So when Council recently approved the flawed design of the $5 million Library Civic Square, they also approved the construction of an awkward 3-story addition to the Cultural Center. The third floor, and I repeat, the third floor, will have a 240-seat theater. Most patrons will have to access the theater via an elevator. You can imagine what a cluster fudge that will be. The cost of the addition approved by Council is a staggering $26 million. Add the $5 million to develop the Civic Square and another $5 million to renovate the Armory. The price tag has suddenly gone from $7.3 million in 2016 to $36 million in less than 18 months. That's an escalation of $29 million. And that does not factor in the revenues lost by giving the Armory away or the negative impact on our local businesses. My favorite line from the book Magna Man, The Life Story of Frank Stronach, is, can we do better for less? Obviously, to the Mayor of Aurora and most of Council, the answer is, no, we can't. So, the next big issue is the Hallmark Lands. And again, mayoral candidates Daw and Maracas conspicuously do not list this as one of their accomplishments. And it's not hard to figure out why. The town bought this property in 2015 for $7.4 million for municipal purposes. This is prime industrial employment land that is economically developable. The staff at the town hall has identified as a strategic goal to develop such lands as this into a medical campus that would create hundreds of good-paying jobs and would attract many people from inside and outside Aurora. Many of our children could be employed at these high-paying jobs that we create here. The Hallmark lands are now worth at least $11 million, probably a lot more. So what does the council do? To secure a few votes from some sports executives, it votes 5-3 to build 2 baseball fields on these economic lands. The cost to build each field, including washrooms and a parking lot, is about $1.5 million per field. Most notably, these baseball fields, which will function for about 4 to 5 months a year, will render the lands worthless. We will thereby have spent $3 million and forfeited $11 million for a total cost or waste of at least $14 million. Repurposing Natural Park into tournament ball diamonds would be less costly because there are washrooms, change room facilities, and parking already in place at the Aurora Community Center. These diamonds would cost about $1 million each, and they would save the Hallmark lands for economic development. Machel Park is walking distance to dozens of restaurants and stores in the downtown core. It is cringeworthy listening to these councillors extol the economic sport tourist virtues of locating 2 baseball diamonds in an industrial park 2 kilometers away. But get this, town council would not even consider this alternative, even though it makes complete sense, both logistically and financially. They would not look at any alternatives, and they would not consider the financial implications of ruining the Hallmark lands. Once again, they blindly refuse to do their due diligence. That's coming. The decision to build 2 ball diamonds on the Hallmark lands was rushed through Aurora Town Council despite recent audit report that implored councillors to carefully deliberate before making decisions on major capital expenditures. The ostensible purpose of the audit report was to prevent the council from repeating the mistake it made with the Joint Operations Center. Suffice to say, the council completely ignored the audit report's recommendations. So now, the cost of these recent council approvals have gone from the original $7.3 million for the armory and a sensible $2 million for 2 quality ball diamonds in our downtown core for a total of $9.3 million to $50 million. And this whole domino escalation in cost began with the secret decision to give away the armory and the refusal to adopt a project management methodology. Okay, I've just described in a fair amount of detail the armory, Niagara College deal, and the Hallmark Lands decision. As you can imagine, it would be virtually impossible to tell the entire story to every citizen in Aurora. So, we have prepared a whiteboard video to capture the essence of what I'm talking about. It takes 2 minutes, and we were all set to show it today, but we've had technical difficulties. So, I emailed almost all of you, and I will email you a thread to that whiteboard presentation. So, people often ask me, why does the council make decisions such as these that are clearly not in the town's best interest? My answer used to be, I don't know. But I've had time to give this subject considerable thought, and I've concluded that it has something to do with the pernicious strain of groupthink. Most of the town councillors are timid and uncritical. I guess they believe they are doing a good job because they show up regularly for council meetings. But they don't delve into issues to deepen the understanding, and they have trouble formulating opinions of their own. They can be easily led like sheep. The leaders of the council are much worse. They refuse to conduct due diligence. They refuse to evaluate business cases. They're reckless, with other people's money. Yes, they are good and fast talkers, and yes, they often boast about their leadership skills. But in real life, they act in haste, and they never consider the consequences or potential repercussions of their actions. And they do not have the best interests of Aurora at heart. 2 of them are running for mayor in October. In contrast to my fellow competitors in the race for mayor, I am pragmatic, open, and resolved to doing things deliberately and right. I cannot be swayed by special interest groups at the expense of the community I serve. I believe in due diligence. If anyone on council proposes a costly expenditure, they damn well better have done their homework, or I will do it for them. So to all the citizens, the question is this: do you want to continue down this reckless path of hasty, unjustifiable spending, or do you want to return trust and fiscal responsibility to Aurora's town council? If it's the latter, I am your man. If elected mayor, this is what the town of Aurora can expect from my administration. The platform.
Oh my God.
First, we will establish a $15 million revolving investment fund. This financial vehicle is a well-proven method of gap financing, primarily used for development and expansion of small businesses. It is a self-replenishing pool of money, utilizing interest and principal payments of old loans to issue new ones. With this fund, the town will provide loans for the procurement of properties, partner in the development of those properties, and sell them at a profit to create local jobs and businesses. The loan would be at a favorable interest rate for a short term. The payments from the loan would then be deposited back into the revolving investment with interest, while the profits would go to our reserves. This strategy has already achieved great success with the town's Leslie Street employment lands and the LED lighting conversion project. The revolving investment fund would be administered by the Economic Development Board. Let me also emphasize that Edmonton and many other municipalities have successfully employed this economic strategy. Each year, more and more municipalities are adopting a revolving investment fund. It's innovative and it's financially sound. There's no reason why we can't do it here again and again. In fact, Aurora is in a better position to establish a revolving investment fund than most other municipalities. In short, we will invest in Aurora and we will get the most mileage out of the dollars we spend. An immediate example, we will purchase a sports dome with the revolving investment fund and we will pay back the loan with a favorable permit fees to the users. Once the loan is paid back, we will own this asset and we will better be able to support our local soccer clubs. If we provide arenas for hockey, then we can certainly provide a dome for our soccer community. We will enhance a GO Transit shuttle service so Aurora commuters can get to and from the GO station. This will allow and free up 300 parking spaces. We will provide additional facility space for the burgeoning seniors programming, and we will build an addition for storage at the Aurora Senior Center, and better transit for those with mobility issues. We will make sure that the windrows left by snowplows are removed so people don't get trapped in their driveways. We'll do this by, it'll be a user paid for service. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to pay for it. And those that can't afford it will be subsidized. So it will be at no cost to the taxpayers. We will improve our children's ability to thrive in a world of global technology. We will do this by partnering with school boards for after-school programs and create cultural hubs at the schools. We will continue to support the BIA, the Aurora Chamber, and revitalize the downtown as a tourist destination. This will include redeveloping the Howard Johnson's building. That eyesore is the signature of Jeff Dahl's inability to address obvious critical issues. We will get out of the contract with Niagara College, which will cost us only a fraction of the countless millions we will save. We will build the library square for $5 million, but we will double the current parking plan capacity recently approved by the council. Like Nathan Phillips Square in Toronto, this will be a great gathering space for special events. We will renovate the Armory at the original cost of $2.3 million and turn it into a great cultural hub that will attract tourist traffic, generate ongoing revenues via concerts, theatrical productions, weddings, etc., etc. We will develop the Hallmark lands into a medical campus or a high-tech incubator hub that will generate hundreds of good-paying jobs and tax revenue for Aurora. And this is exactly what the Economic Development Strategic Action Plan calls for. We will develop a multi-purpose recreational center that will have barrier-free access, like the Ability Center in the Durham region. And we'll do it on the Bloomington Fields. Soccer and baseball tournaments will be held in the downtown core by repurposing the underutilized fields at Fleury and Machel Parks. We will hold a series of cultural and ethnic celebrations and more festivals to draw more tourism and to celebrate the diversity of Aurora. We will employ an affordable housing strategy to increase rental availability in Aurora so that we can find housing for our children and mitigate the migration of our educated children to the city in search of housing and job opportunities. We can create jobs for them, but we have to give them access to affordable housing and places to live as they embark upon their careers. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm elected mayor of Aurora, the days of secret negotiations, backroom deals will be over. Openness and transparency will return to council. We will do our due diligence, evaluate each business case, and consider all reasonable options. We will restore fiscal responsibility and trust in our local government. And we will always be guided by one overriding principle: to improve the lives of the people in Aurora. I'm ready, I'm willing. I'm John Abel.